Alrighty, we are live.
We are live on Saturday night, no, it's Tuesday.
Tuesday morning.
I'll be back, I'll be taking a nap.
No problem, Steve. Well, I'll wake you up when I want you to come. You want me to do 5 stances today, give you a longer break?
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So, good morning. Thank you for joining us again. This is Lucienne at Calvin Chen's Martial Arts Academy. This is our all-ages beginner to intermediate Hung Kuen Kung Fu class. We hope that you are faring well in these difficult times. And so the format of the class, the same every time, although the information does vary. We're going to do a series of fundamental exercises, a little bit of stretching, some horse stance with some punches, some blocking drills. We'll move through a series of punches and then some kicks. And we hope that you just follow along at home, get a little bit of fitness in. I know everybody's probably going a little bit stir-crazy being cooped up in the house, but we're happy you're with us here today. So we're going to start out feet shoulder width, nice big hoop. We're going to turn the waist. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and 3. Reaching over. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and 3. Raise the arms, stretching towards the floor. Keep the legs straight. 1, 2, 3. To your right. 2, 3. To your left. 2, 3. Middle one time. Inhale. And through the nose again, exhale. Again. 1, 2, 3. To your right. 2, 3. To your left. 2, 3. Middle one time. Inhale. Exhale. Again. 1, 2, 3. To your right. 2, 3. To your left. 2, 3. Middle one time. Inhale. Exhale. And one last time. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. To your right. 2, 3. To your left. 2, 3. Middle one time. Inhale. And exhale. Hands on the waist. Rotation. 1, 2, 3. We want to keep the head and the feet still. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1 and 2. Switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1 and 2. Very good. We're going to cross our arms, place the hands on the knees. Pick a spot on the floor about 6 to 8 feet in front of you so that you don't drop your chin. And you're going to make a gentle circle with the knees, keeping the feet flat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1 and 2. Switch hands, switch directions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1 and 2. Hands on the waist, turning the head side to side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1 and 2. Whenever we're doing these neck exercises, it's important that you don't put too much force into it. Take it easy. You don't want to injure your neck. Back and forth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, and 2. Tilting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, and 2. Rotation, looking all the way around. 1, 2, 3. And we switch. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, we're going to open up the feet. Arms out. Turn the head. The waist will follow. Relax the arms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to cross the fingers, turn to the right, straight back, stretch. 1, 2, 3. We switch sides. 1, 2, 3. Switch. 1, 2, 3. Switch. 1, 2, and 3. Both feet flat, squatting position with your right leg straight. Switch. Okay, sit back, switch, toe up this time. And we switch. Okay, we stand up, both legs straight. Oh. Bend at the waist, legs straight, stretch. And we turn, switch. And to the middle. Okay, let's bring our feet in. In the kids' class, we call this the frog position. Elbows between the knees, toes facing out, using the hands together to push the elbows, which push on the knees, opening the hip. Okay, we sit. Both feet together. Call this the butterfly position. Okay, right leg out. Stretch towards your right foot. Okay, switch. Left leg out. Okay, both feet out front, bounce, switch, and we're up. Okay, so now we're going to start with the horse stance position. We start with our feet about 1.5 of your feet width apart, hands at your sides, body is straight but relaxed. We're going to make fists, pull the elbows back, raising the fist to the waist, bend the knees, heels out, toes out, heels out, and lastly, toes out. Your feet should be parallel. They should be flat, knees out, back straight, body relaxed. And we're going to punch. The first punch we're going to do is Ping Choi. This is a reverse or flat punch. It turns over at the very end. You want it to come up shoulder height and line up on the center. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1 and 2. Closing. 1, 2. Low block, we press. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2. Closing. 1, 2. Middle block, come across the body. 1, 2. Stop at the shoulder. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1 and 2. Closing. 1 and 2. Okay, next we're going to lift. High block. 1, you want to make sure your wrist is lined up on the center. If my fingertips are lined up on the center, something comes through, it can break through those fingertips. But here it creates a wedge and redirects. So here we go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1 and 2. Closing. 1, 2. Now we're going to do all 3 on the same arm. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and 3. Closing. 1, 2. Now we're going to do low block with a punch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1 and 2. Closing. 1 and 2. Middle block with a punch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1 and 2. Closing. 1, 2. High block with a punch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1 and 2. Closing. 1, 2. Now we go to Danji Kyosil. Squeeze down all your fingers except for your index finger. Pull your elbows back, hands at the chest. We're going to push out to the sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Going low. 1. Make sure your fingertips are facing each other. Your hands should be lined up on your hips and your shoulders, which should be about the same. Elbows are out. Nice round hoop. Pull back. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Going high. 1. Same rules apply. Fingertips facing each other. If your fingertips are up like this, you don't have that round hoop. Elbows are out. The fingertips should be about the height of your eyebrows, no lower. Pull back. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Last set, in front of you, shoulder width and shoulder height. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Stop, thrust, flip, roll, press, thrust, flip, roll, press, thrust, flip, roll, press, and we close. 1, 2, closing the stance, heels, toes, shake it out. Deep breathing, palms up, elbows down, elbows out. We're going to lift from the top of the head, go up on the toes as we inhale and expand the chest. Come down slowly with the breath. Again, palms up, elbows down, elbows out, inhale, and exhale. One more time, palms up, elbows down, elbows out, we inhale, and exhale. Very good. So left hand on the waist, right fist up, we're going to punch. This is called Yetu Choi, a one punch. Chinese character for one is a straight line, and your fist should travel in a straight line. So you don't want the elbow stationary, and we call that knocking on the door. You want the elbow to drop out of the way and rise up to propel that fist out. Try to keep everything nice and relaxed. Let it go. Switch, punch. Now, of course, you can do more repetitions of this punch, of all of the punches and the kicks, everything we're doing. But in the interest of time for this class, we're going to do a fairly small amount. Okay, stop, switch, same punch but to the right. Keep your body facing the front. You don't want to turn like this. You put yourself out of position. You're lined up, your hips lined up with your toes, and you punch. Okay, stop, switch, punch. Okay, stop, both fists up, elbows down, vertical, everything the width of your body or the width of the shoulders and the hips. Okay, you're going to turn the body, drop down with the left fist. Your right fist remains by the ear to protect you. Keep your head facing the front. Turn your body again, left fist comes up, right fist comes down. So we alternate on a diagonal. Keep everything relaxed. Bend the knees slightly. Okay, stop. Bina Choi, edge of the fist, hand on the waist, and punch out. And switch with the left, punch. Okay, stop. Cheurng Choi, cartwheel punch. So this punch is also known as a chain punch in some systems, but the fist is going to come over the top, and one fist follows the other. You want to make sure that the size of that circle, it's not too big, it's not too small. The fist of one arm is going to line up on the elbow of the other. That's going to determine the size of that circle for you. And you want to hold the center line with your punch. Okay, stop. Kwa Choi, back of the fist, and punch. Okay, switch, punch. Good. Okay, point your right toe 45 degrees, lightly touch like a cat stance, just barely touching the toe to the floor with your left foot, left hand on top. Notice my right arm, it's still in a low block position, so you've got basically your middle and your low area protected or covered with very small waist movement. You can cover a lot of ground. Okay, from here what we want to do is switch. So we're going to switch our stance and punch on the opposite side. When we come forward, we don't want to put weight on that front foot. We want to switch, punch, switch, punch, switch, 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 and switch. Very good. Palms up, elbows down. We do deep breathing. Inhale. Exhale. Again. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. Good. So I'm going to do all of the kicks facing you. That's mirror image. So we want our left foot forward, leaning stance, back leg is straight. Your right leg, the leg you're kicking with. Your front leg, your left leg, the knee is over the toe. Left fist up. Again, here's that frame where with a very small waist movement, you can cover a bit of ground. Okay, we're going to punch with our right, toe out with our left foot, lift the knee, kick with the toe pointed, and come right back to our starting position, pivot back and punch. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Let's switch sides. Left foot's forward. Sorry, right foot's forward, right hand on top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Switch. Notice any of these kicks we're doing, we don't let our hands drop down or fall to the back side. We keep that protective frame up. So here we go. Same kick. This time we're going to push out with the heel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, let's switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, switch. Again, left foot forward, left hand up. This is the only kick we're going to do with a straight leg, so I don't want to bend my knee on this one. All the others I do. This one I want to lift straight up. Okay? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Let's switch. Leaning stance. Left foot forward, left hand on top. We're going to do a round kick. Wang So Hui. It's going to come around waist high. We punch, toe out. Lift the knee, turn the waist, bring the knee over, and let that foot extend. You're hitting with the instep and the shin. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good. Let's switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Very good. Deep breathing, palms up, elbows in, elbows out. Inhale, slowly exhale. You want to make sure you don't just drop. Come down slowly with your breath. Inhale and exhale. Once more. Inhale and exhale. Good. So before Sifu comes back and he'll give some further instruction, not sure what he has plans for each class, but this is a beginner to intermediate, so it'll be content that leads up to fourth form. I know Rose at home sent me an email saying maybe she'd like a little more detail and a little slower running through of bumblecoin, so I know the third form, crushing step praying mantis form that we do, and so I know Sifu's probably going to address that. But before we get into that, I just want to give him a slightly longer break today. He's been putting in a lot of long hours with this, and so I'm his pitiful stunt double, as it were. Let's run through 5 stances together. So this isn't the modern wushu 5 stances. This is traditional 5 stances. This is specific to what we do here at our school. If you're following along at home and you're a student, you're probably quite familiar with this. If you're not familiar with it, it's not a problem. Just try to follow along. This is a drill that we use to build that connection between the upper and the lower, so we get more coordination when we're throwing our techniques. And it also is kind of an introduction to some of the footwork that you then find in the forms. All right? So I'm going to start with my back facing you, but we'll do a few different viewpoints. Okay, so we're going to start, make fists, raise them up, open the hands, drop the elbows, we push straight out. Okay, so this position is like this, the arm should be 45, fingertips the height of the shoulder. Drop the elbows, make fists, pull it back, open, we push out. 1, 2, 3, we lift, that's an elbow strike, press, thrust out, press, and we make a big hoop and close. Okay, so from here, right fist on top, hopefully you can see in the mirror here, bend the knees, we're going to step out to an offset horse stance, toe to heel, both knees are bent, we draw the bow. Okay, Cheurng. Sliding step, leaning stance, punch. So you're in that leaning stance, the fist is lined up center line and on the shoulder. Left hand underneath your right hand, you're going to step forward to another leaning stance. Pull your right elbow back, turn your waist, punch. We toe out, big cross step, make a hoop, turn your waist, dragon whip's tail. Make sure your left heel is off the floor. Pivot out, check your stance, you should be in an offset horse stance, toe to heel. Raise the left elbow, corner back fist to the head. Your right fist goes to the waist. Make a circle with your left hand, chun. Step up suspended, turn your waist, punch. Left hand protecting the ribs, step straight back, cover. We're going to turn, leaning stance, high block, low block. Lift our left knee, drop, and chop. Okay, so you're sitting on your right foot, your left foot is out, step out, uppercut. You're in a leaning stance, uppercut comes center line, doesn't come up here, it's the height of your chin, and you close. Now we're going to go this direction. Right fist on top, bend the knees, step out, offset, chun. Sliding step with the front foot, turn, leaning stance, punch. Left hand underneath, step all the way through, leaning stance, pull your elbow back, punch. Toe out, big cross step, make a hoop, turn, dragon whip's tail, pivot out, corner back fist to the head. Make a circle with your left hand, chun. Step up suspended, punch. Step straight back, leaning stance, high block, low block, lift your knee, turn, drop, chop. Step out, leaning stance, uppercut, close. Right fist on top, step out, offset horse stance, sliding step, leaning stance, punch. Left hand underneath, step all the way through, leaning stance. Pull your right elbow back, turn your waist, punch. Toe out, big cross step, nice big hoop, dragon whip's tail. Spin out, make sure your feet are offset, corner back fist to the head. Make a circle with your left, chun. Step up, suspended, punch. Step straight back, cover. Leaning stance, high block, low block, left knee up, drop, chop. Step out, uppercut. And we close. Fourth direction, the last direction here, right fist on top. Step out, chun. Sliding step, leaning stance, punch. Left hand underneath, step all the way through, elbow. Turn your waist, punch. Toe out, big cross step, dragon whips tail. Spin out, corner back fist to the head. Make a circle, chun. Step up, punch. Step straight back. Right hand on top of your left hand, leaning stance. High block, low block. Left knee up. Drop and chop. Step up, uppercut, and we close. All right, so that concludes 5 stances. You see there's a bit of repetition there, but keep in mind that we're trying to teach ourselves some of the fundamental footwork, the transition from one horse stance to another, and some of those basic hand techniques. All right, so I think Sifu's going to come in and take over, and I'm going to go back where I belong on the mixing. Have a great day.
Hi, everyone. So you're going to get a quick drink, as we always do after we did the warm-ups of the first form. So, there's been some requests for a couple of things. I think today we're going to do a little bit of work on the third form. First and second form, we've run through many, many times in the last couple of weeks. So I think, a lot of us have that dialed in. Now, first form, typically we have those drills where we work toward the front. So for the newer people that might be just tuning in, when you're in this position, after the salute, and we open the stance, basically you have a high block, a low block, adjustment, a dragon, adjustment, Cheurng Kuen scoop. So that's that first leg of the form. When if we were going like this, this is the form. He didn't go through the first one, sorry. So now from here, if we go to the dragon claw, you can see that in the form we would reverse the stance. So that gives you an idea what happens in the form. So some of the things that we do that's facing a mirror is to give you the frontal image of that position. So image is, how does this position look? So when we're in uppercut, that's how it should look. Remove and punch. So a lot of times when you're doing your movement, try to capture that look, that imagery, because that's really what makes the difference in the quality of your movement and what we're striving for ultimately as a traditional form or traditional martial art. Okay, so in the uppercut, you have that in the 5 stances, removing and punching. The punch is there, but the removing is something that happens more in this first form. Okay, now if we go like this and block, that position actually looks like this when we do the form. Okay, remove high and punch. Now over here, it would block like this. Okay, cross the arms, turn to the back, strike to the front. Now you see the hand is one up and one down. Remove high. Remember, when the hand is up, you go up, step down, and punch. Okay, so that's that one. And then uppercut sliding step. Remember, you have to move the front foot first, front foot, and punch. Uppercut, front foot, and draw back, and punch. Okay, so that's that particular unit, because the form is made up of postures. So especially for the newer people or the younger kids, you realize that when you learn a form, you're not learning this whole sequence and just memorizing it. You have really pieces. So uppercut and sliding step is one of those. Now this movement, the squat down, or this position, that stance is the same stance. So you're here as a squat down stance and the uppercut. Remove and punch. Okay. Now let's squat down again. From the side position, you see we have this. Then we have this. Okay. 1, 2, 3, cut. So remember this name, cutting hand. So it cuts across, and you have a double palm strike. Okay. So, if you're just tuning in or if you've been following, palms are exactly what they are. They're like paws. So you're using this area to strike because that's the strongest part of the hand when it's folded like this. And you notice the palm is actually lined up with here. You're not hitting with this because there's really no support there. So you're using this as a strike. Same with when you make a punch, it's supported by this. So what we're trying to do is learn using our skeleton to create a structure. So a structure really depends on how you line up your joints to create that position. So if we're punching like this, we want this to be in line like this. Sometimes the wrist can be like this, but it's still in line, because this varies depending on, how you're striking. And then if we're striking with the fingertip, like in a second form, this is what we're trying to do is create that alignment. Okay, so aligning your skeleton creates a structure, and the potential of that strike really depends on the speed and how you line up your ligaments and tendons. Now the phoenix eye in the second form has this. So I'm just going through some of the, now with the phoenix eye, it could be straight like this, but if it's going up like this, you want the wrist to curve a little bit like this because your movement is actually going to end up going in that direction. So when you strike, the direction of your movement is the most important thing, right? So this is the double palm strike, and then we remove and punch again, right? So from the punch, we have the rolling elbow. So you notice the hand comes across and you draw like this, okay? So I mentioned one time that when the hand comes across, you intercept, that means connect with whatever's here, and you switch the hands and you grab. That's how you would use this. Now, in the form, you don't grab, you just remove, and then you elbow. Now, the elbow is the body. So you have to roll into it and turn your horse stance. This is the corner back fist. You have that when you do the cross step and the 5 stances, and then the palm. Here's the vertical palm. So vertical palm means fingertips pointing upward. Okay. So there's a lot of things that you have to identify with. Rolling, because it rolls around, it rotates. Corner back fist, because it's going down here in the corner, low, and palm. Okay? So those are a couple of the hand movements that we have in that, on that back side, because after we do the double palm, we're going to step to the back. The front would be there, the back fist, the palm, and then we go in this direction. Remember, the crescent kick is this, and then we're going to jump off of this leg. Okay, so just practice jumping, jumping. And the thing is, don't put this foot down because then you won't know which foot to jump off of. If you did this, then you have trouble jumping. So leave this here and switch. Leave this here and switch. And if you can, you kick before you land, but if you can't, switch feet and kick, okay? So once you switch, you step down, and now you're in a leaning stance. This is a press, a trap. A trapping hand is this movement. It looks like this when you're in the front. You go to a lifting and separating of the hands. So you see the hands are up and down like this. You see that? So you go 1, 2, 3, 4. So the movement is striking downward. Okay, so remember I just mentioned that your strikes are directional. So this is down. Okay, this is out. But it drops to here, so that's reversing the hand and dropping this way. So the direction of movement is really this. Okay, the trapping hand is not here, but here. So you know the drill, the exercise we do like this? We're turning our waist to free up the waist, but this is actually what's happening is that you can learn to trap. When this foot is forward, you have to turn to a horse stance in this direction. So this trap is to the side. Anyone that's learning the fourth form will realize this trapping hand is sort of 90 degrees to your stance. So that means it crosses, it's on this side, whereas this side is on the same side. Okay. So those are just examples of what you have to see when you're watching. When you watch, you kind of pick up on that, that idea. So anyone that's learning forms in the beginning, just trying to mimic the movement means copy it and try to do what you think you see. So that's really how everybody learns actually when we're first starting out. And then after a while, you start to recognize, and then you start to look for the detail of some of the positions. Like we mentioned before, high block is in front of your forehead. Low block is about your waist. Middle block is in front of your shoulder. So these are positions that you have to kind of understand. And then when we do this, there's your triangle. So when we're here, there's the triangle when we're here. So it doesn't matter what stance you're in when you're doing these hand movements. It really depends on what we're doing or what posture you're in. So remember we mentioned the term posture. If you're standing like in your classroom and your body's perfectly straight, that's considered a good posture when you're standing with your body in a sort of an attention position. But then, our posture in the Kung Fu forms is what we have when we put the hands in combination at different places. So we have hand positions that are postures. So those are arm postures. The stance is stance posture. You have your horse stance, your leaning stance. And then when you combine the leaning stance, say, with a high block, you have a new posture. So that's what I try to get you to understand at this point, to recognize the different positions or different postures. Okay, now I'm going to switch gears, go to the third form. I did that for the newer people. People learning the second form, we've gone through that quite a few times. So with the third form, one of the things we have is the mantis hand, and we have a lot of these slapping type things where you strike the hand like this. Okay, so what happens is when the hand is in a middle block like this, it comes across, and right where your elbow folds, the inside of your elbow, your hand slaps there. Okay, so you just find that position. So you don't have to slap yourself very hard, just build the coordinate, because this is going like this, and this is going like this. It's a little bit different from doing this or doing this. So you have one of each. One. So that's kind of a slap and strike. So what is this? While we're doing this in the first two forms as the triangle position, this also goes to the triangle position, but with the wrists kind of bent like this and flat. So you do this. Okay. So what it is it's a slapping movement as a deflection. Some styles use the whole arm, like in Hung Kuen, we use the whole arm. You can use your palm. Those are options. So you have from here to here, this whole piece that you can either use this or this, right? So here, in this instance, we're going like this and then slapping. Okay. The next thing we have is this, which is like a dragon claw. This is a dragon. This could be a dragon and a suspended. So here is like a dragon, but then you hook your wrist. So that's the praying mantis hand position. So like, the Kung Fu or the Tai Chi and other styles, this is like a ready position. So when you're in this position, you notice this is about shoulder height. The hand might be in front of the nose. This hand is by the elbow. Okay. So it's not separated like this, it's over here. Because this hand is here to kind of guard this side. This hand is over here to guard this side. So if you look in the mirror, we have a circle here, and we have a circle here. So those are the areas that this technique is working and this technique is working. We switch the feet, this is working here, and this is working here. So it just kind of protects. If we're like this or like this, it's the same concept, the same idea. Okay, so in the third form, we do this. That's an opening. This is northern mantis, by the way. And then we go like this, and it goes on the hip. You bend your knees, step out 45 degrees, you have a high block. Okay? And then you hop. Now, because the hand's here, it just comes in. Okay, you see how I did that? 1, 2, 3. Okay? Now, this hand's going to come across, but I'm turning toward this side, and then this hand goes underneath. So that's almost like Cheurng Kuen, right? So what you have to do is remember, what is Cheurng Kuen? Cheurng Kuen is this, or Chun is really like a piercing technique. So when your hand is here and I cross over, you notice that I'm in this position and I fold my elbows on my wrist back. You see that this is like a dragon claw or a dragon position or a middle block. Just, these are different, names of the same thing. So when we're here and this hand crosses, it's like Cheurng Kuen or hot kuen, removing. This is removing too. My hand is here, comes across, and I do this, that's a removing. Now, when the fingertips roll down, that's kind of using your fingers like the tentacles to attach. So the attaching side of it is like the little hairs on different insects, they're using them to attach. Okay. Then we have this. It's called golden cockerel, standing on one leg. We stomp, and we do 3 steps. 1, 2, 3. So a lot of times, when you're in class, I can see that you think it's this. So that's another type of movement that looks like this, but it's really that's more like a horse, like you're riding a horse. That's really a horse step. We're doing a mantis step, so it should be so it's a sliding step. This foot goes almost underneath the heel of that front foot. So just think of it as when the heel goes up, you're kind of tucking, replacing that position. And you notice the feet are pretty close to the ground. It doesn't do that. When you pick your foot up, it changes the look of that movement. So in the sliding step, what do? We go 3 times. 1, 2, on 3, on 4, we go to lean. Now look at my hand. I kind of contracted like this, retracted to strike out like this. So that's the blade of the hand striking out. Instead of a punch, it becomes a push, or the edge of the hand, right? So once we edge out like this hand stays here. It doesn't do that, okay? It just stays there. And then the next movement, I'm going to open that a little bit and then come through and do that again. So that is no different from that, right? So we're here. Now I'm going to fold the elbow as I take the step, and you create a position like that. So look, it's like holding an arm, right? 1, I fold both knees, and I step up. Now this creates a fist, and then from here, I shoot out this punch. So here, 1, 2, step down, and we have that rolling elbow. 3, and we have the back fist. Okay, so remember, back fist means the back of your hand. That's a back fist. So there's variations of back fist. This is a back fist, horizontal. This is a back fist, vertical. We just did that in the first form. And you have the corner back fist, the horizontal back fist, upper back fist, and the vertical back fist. So from here, once we go from this position, we do that. That can be like removal, but here it's going to punch and knee. Okay, so you punch and knee. So this is the coordination. If you look in the mirror, you're like this, boom. boom, boom. So this is a knee strike, step down, elbow, back fist. Okay, that leads us into the next movement, which is this. We're going to turn, set up our hands. You see, they're like this. You see the hands are like this. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. So when you poke here, these are shoulder level. This foot is behind this knee. Then you step out. Right? Back fist and pull. Back fist and pull. Back fist here and pull. High block. You see that? High block. So it looks like this. Now I set up my hand and I'm going to load up my fingers like this. It's called a ginger fist. It looks like ginger, it's got like a bunch of knuckles on it. It looks kind of gnarly. So when I go like this, I pull down till my hands are like this. So one's up, one's down. I lift up, and then from here I create this ginger knuckle, and then this hand's going to come across. Okay, so that's like striking to the temple or the face area. Now, if I go like this, I want to catch that. So it ends up like this, you see. So when my hand is here, goes like that, and it looks like that. So you're throwing, like you're throwing a baseball. You throw a baseball, you see how it snaps across? So I'm like this. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So a lot of times, especially it's tough for little kids to kind of interpret the movement, so that's not important at this point. You just basically know the high, middle, low block, and you know that they're blocks, and you know that a punch is what we call an offensive movement, and that's striking. But when we kind of analyze the movement, which is really part of your learning and also part of the skill that you develop by looking at a movement, you say, oh, that's what you use that for, but that's what you use that for. And then over time, you start to develop sort of this concept of interpreting the movement. And that becomes something that's always part of your training. You have to kind of look at what you're doing. So if I'm going like this and I'm hooking, you have to imagine yourself hooking like that. And then when this hand comes around, you're intercepting again, and then you're catching again. So the fact that your hands do this, the patterns of movement can be, depending on how you're interpreting the movement, are used like that. So what is a form? It teaches you a bunch of patterns. And these patterns is using your body to create those motions. But if you can compare patterns and movement in dance or in other types of movement disciplines, they don't always interpret the movement the same way we do because they're purely building it on rhythm and aesthetics. Whereas in martial arts, we really focus on not just the way it looks and the timing, but how you use your limbs. So that's really what separates us from typical dance or some kind of activity where you're moving your body. It's like ballet, maybe jazz dance or some of the other modern dance. They have purely the emotional expression, but not necessarily interpreting the movement as a technique. Okay, so that's the big difference. So when we're like this and we strike and we do this, this, and this. So there is a bunch of changes in direction, but then ultimately you want to coordinate the movement so that when you're in this position, say 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's really what you have to take from those movements, that they're doing something, whether it's deflecting, grabbing, intercepting, switching. All of that is happening simultaneously depending on how you interpret that motion. But the important thing is to get the pattern of movement that's within this space, right? So you see between my shoulders and here, there's a circle, right? That circle is the space that you're working with to develop your movement. If you leave the realm of that circle, then you're really outside of the most important part of those movements. So because praying mantis, the movements are kind of, quick and intricate, you would see that there's a lot of little patterns in there that you might not pick up in the very beginning. Now, just going from there, when we do this and we do this, which is another movement inside the form, it's actually the same action, but it's on a different plane of movement. So when we do movements, it crosses many axes, mainly because its movements are three-dimensional. And then as you increase the dimension of these movements, it's called multi-dimensional movement. And that complex movement is so important that when you visualize these movements, that your body is involved with these movements. So when we move and we turn, it's not just the hands that's doing this, then you're kind of isolated in this. When the hand comes with the body form and how we create that action is the end goal. Okay, so that's the movement that happens after this. Here, high. Here's that ginger knuckle. Here's that scoop. Here's that circle. And here's that other circle. And bring it together. So there's a couple of dimensions there. You have to practice that. But you can see, so I'm demonstrating to you how the hands are moving, and I'm slowing it down so you can see. And then from here, you have that one. Now you just go twice and lunge. Okay, so this is the same movement. This time it changes. Look at this. Look at this. The hand actually comes up like this. So that's actually capturing. So you hear something comes in, you grab it, and you punch. So how do you simulate that motion? You're here, then I'm here, and I catch. So here I catch at the elbow, not at the forearm, I'm here. Okay, so you catch, it kind of slides through. Okay, then you stomp, cat stance, lift, like you, now that's a back fist too. It's a lifting and an uppercut. So the way that looks is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, hop, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. So it looks like this. Uppercut, lift. So when you're doing forms, I try to give you what I call the imagery, and that's why I do it in front of you so you can see. So it takes away some of the guesswork, takes away some of the imagination of what you think it should be. Leave that for analyzing the movement so you can kind of interpret it, but at the same time, try to capture the look to see where these hands are, see where these hands are. All of these things has to do with body form, because a posture has, is what we call the strength and weakness of a position. So there's so many different stages and levels of understanding. I just like to bring these terms up so you start to recognize what we're talking about, rather than just learn a sequence that's pure memory. I mean, we use our memory all the time memorizing, whether it's poems or sentences or just phrases of information, and we memorize it, and we recite it to ourselves. So that's using our memory in one way. This is memorizing movement, sequentially in patterns and order. That information is translated into body synchronization, coordination. So what we're building really is body intelligence. So that's one step beyond what the mental intelligence is, because you're going to take that idea and transfer it into emotion and then create a picture, an image. So that image is your posture. So for kids that are learning this, that's really something of value that you really learn in more than one dimension. It's multidimensional. It's learning abstract ideas of a posture and translating it into something that's real. So that's really something that's, I think, very valuable. It's a valuable tool for you to work your imagination and so forth, and it'll take you to a whole different level of understanding and appreciation of what the traditional martial arts has to offer. Okay, on that note, I think we're almost done, or I'm done. So I'll see you on Thursday. Review these tutorials. Hope this was helpful for that section of the third form, and we'll pick it up on Thursday. Okay, I'll see you next time. Stay healthy. We're on YouTube. Give us a thumbs up, and any of the other social media.